Streaming live every Friday night, it's Street Talk with the Swift Gang, right here on GoHamRadio.com.
To episode 10 of Street Talk with the Swift Gang. I'm Miss Fancy Pants.
And I'm Vincenzo. Every Friday night from 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time, we will entertain you and inform you with our roundtable discussions, interviews, and of course, our live music.
Of course. And we do have a segment we like to call Word on the Street, where we give you a little rundown of what we got going on the show tonight. So tonight, we do have Crisma Jones in the building.
Whoop.
He is a local San Diego rapper here to give us a live performance as well as a great interview. We also have a few things to stream live later on in the weekend if you'd like to do that at home, or if you'd like to go out, we got some places you can go while hitting the streets, whether it's some arts and culture you'd like to get involved in or maybe a show at the club. We got all that for you. Plus, I think Vinny's got a little bit of the weather and a few other things that are going to keep you excited and going through this show real quick.
And of course, our word on the street, which will be voting. Does your vote count? We will be talking about that tonight on Street Talk. So make sure you guys chime in, chat us live on our GoHamRadio.com webpage or on Facebook at GoHamRadio.com. We are always willing and ready to chat you guys, and we want to hear your guys' opinion. So please let us know. Does your vote count?
Mm-hmm. Some people can vote, some people can't. We can get into that. Are you able to vote? Are you not able to vote?
I can vote. I'm a legal citizen of the United States.
You're a legal citizen. All right. Well, like he said, you can go to Go Ham Radio, Facebook, Go Ham Radio, and check into our live feed. You can ask some questions and interact with us, and we can give some shout-outs. And we'd like to give a shout-out to some of our faithful viewers that we have, of
David
course.
Anton.
David Anton is our number one P1.
P1.
We also have
Ashley Wilkerson.
Ashley Wilkerson. We
Yes.
have Ashante Coleman.
Ashante Coleman. Can't forget Ashante.
Ashante.
She's consistently listening to our show.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to her. We also have Justin Kramer. He likes to listen wherever he is. He works late night, grave night shifts. So wherever he's at around town or even the United States, because he has listened to us in Boston
Ooh, wow.
when he was doing overnight shifts over there. So thank you, Justin, for tuning in. We are here every Friday night, Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. to midnight. And Vinny, what's going on this weekend? Did you do anything this weekend? Do you have plans for this weekend?
Yeah, so this weekend I have planned a couple things, as a matter of fact. I plan to work, and do some more work.
Work? Are you able to tell us?
Work.
Are you able to tell our viewers where you work?
Yeah, so I'm currently now a Lyft driver.
So he got a car, what, a couple weeks ago?
For your After our episode of where we talked about cars and what to do, I was inspired and was like, okay, time to trade in the old hoopty. And,
Not really a hoopty. It was a 2-door to a 4-door, same brand. He just
It was
upgraded.
a 2012 hoopty. And hoopty for a Benz. Not really a Benz, but another Fiat.
Yeah.
A 4-door Fiat. And so I started lifting, and on top of my day job, which is being a parent, I have decided to be a full-time Lyft driver.
Nice. So how's that worked out for you?
Excellent. And you know what? I really can't complain as far as the fares and the money that I'm making. However, I can complain about maybe some of the people that I've picked up. Good
Really?
Lord, what are you people doing with your lives?
To be fair, you are driving between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So what are you really doing with your life between those times? I mean, you're Lyft driving, so you can't really pass too heavy a judgment on others.
Money. And during the day, when the sun is out, I'm taking care of children.
I mean, I respect that, but you have to understand that everybody's got a backstory, and you can't judge somebody by their cover. True. So
there are some things that are worthy of judgment.
Okay, well, tell us a worthy story, and we'll see if it's judgmental.
Well, as a matter of fact, one of the fares I picked up happened to be...
Is that what you call them, fares?
Fares.
You call them fares?
Fares.
Okay, one of the fares.
Okay, one of the fares that I picked up was a group of 4. 2 men, 2 female. Okay?
Okay.
The men were obviously far more coherent than the 2 females. So much to the point that the 2 men were carrying the females over their shoulder.
So I assume that everyone was drunk. Were you picking them up from a party or something like that?
I asked if there was a rager. They said there was no rager.
Huh.
Yes.
No rager?
Now, these 2 gentlemen proceeded to
Where
make...
were you picking them up from?
You know what? I'm not going to say exactly where.
Well, I mean, I guess in general.
However, it was one of the local universities here in town.
I mean, I meant to say, was it like residential or was it a business?
It was a student housing area.
Okay, so you picked them up from a student housing area.
Okay.
All right.
And the two gentlemen were rather aggressive towards the two ladies who happened to be rather incoherent.
So, what did they ravage them while they were
They were being a bit more
unconscious?
intimate than I would have liked.
Did you say anything?
I tried to create conversation to distract the two gentlemen. And while it appeared to have worked for a bit of time, they were clearly on a mother effing mission. To put on the very least. Now I did.
Oh my goodness.
Now I did, because of my good conscience, I did decide to call the police and report something. Whether or not the police had decided to act upon it is totally up to them. However, after my drop off, I did report what was happening and suggested to our higher officials that they investigate the situation. So
Well, let's hope that
maybe we should have a segment called Lift with Vinny.
Lift with Vinny.
What kind of crazy ass people did you pick up this week, Vinny?
Do you have another story, or is that
You know,
your
I have
only?
a really great one. I have a
Okay.
good one. This is a more positive one.
Okay, that
So
was kinda
someone
funny.
actually, on one of my first drives that I got, she suggested that I get a taser or a stun gun just in case somebody tries to get too wild with me inside the car.
I mean, that's safe.
It is safe. And what's interestingly enough, is after her fare, I picked up somebody else, these two gentlemen. One of them asked me to do illegal drugs in my vehicle while I was driving. And because I see no evil and hear no evil, and I'm all about that dollar bill, y'all, I said, yeah, go ahead. Do what you got to do, as long as you make sure you take care of me and tip me appropriately.
Oh
So
my
not only did I
goodness.
receive 5 stars on my review, but I also received a $10 tip on a fare that was only $5 to begin with. So I received 200%. So let me tell you something. I am counting the Benjamins right now. It is fantastic. If you need a Lyft driver, make sure that I'm in your area and I am taking you to wherever you need to go.
Oh my goodness, Vinny, you are a rambunctious, Lyft driver. I have to say.
I am out of control.
Well, you know, it's our first show for November. Welcome to November.
Oh, which reminds me. It's No Shave November.
No Shave November.
Yes, and I pulled out the wrong item.
Well, in November, did you know that it is Native American Heritage Month?
Which Native American? This one or this one?
Native American.
That's right, because
not
that one's from India.
Native American.
Did you
All
also
right.
know that November is No Shave November?
What
and
does
it-
that mean?
And it is also Men's Health Awareness Month. And so, in honor of Men's Health Awareness Month, the color is blue, much like Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And
Which is pink.
Right. And because it's No Shave November, for the month of November, they hand out blue mustaches that you can wear on your mustache.
Huh.
Now I have one, so this will not work. So I'm
Let
just,
me have it.
there you
I don't
go.
have a mustache.
Put that on.
All right. So this is for...
Every Movember, we challenge fans, because I got this from the Goals game this evening, to grow a mustache. Make a commitment to get active and raise vital funds for men's health. Men's health is a common issue here. 1 in 7 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. Testicular cancer is common between men as young as 15 to 34 years old. 1 in 4 men in the United States will experience a mental health problem in the given year. And 3 out of every 4 suicides are actually directly affected towards men. So, moving on a regular basis, you can reduce your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer by 50% and lower your risk of death by 30% if we just raise awareness for these different issues that different men go through.
Have you gone and gotten tested or a checkup?
I am
lately?
psychologically unstable.
Okay, well, what about physically?
I am physically unstable. I am about 30 pounds overweight.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, my football players would know all about that because they see me try to run and then I like gasp for air. It's terrible.
Did you guys have a bye this past week?
Nope, we had our last game of the season,
Oh,
and
so
we'll
you're gonna
actually
talk about that
yeah,
later,
we'll
right?
go over that over our sports report.
Did you know that today is National Sandwich Day?
I could use a sandwich right now.
Right?
Ham and cheese.
What is that your favorite sandwich? Ham and cheese?
Well, ham and cheese is my favorite when I've drank too much and it can take down the buzz a little bit.
Oh. Only a ham and cheese?
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, do you know what the weather's going to be like?
The weather is going to be, actually, I do know.
Oh, you
This
do?
weekend, yeah, we're looking for a pretty mild weekend. It's going to be a little bit on the chillier side compared to what we've had going on. Highs in the mid 70s, lows in the high 60s. And there could be a little bit of sun, and it could be a little bit partly cloudy over the weekend with a little bit of rain. Chance of sprinkles here and there around the county.
It
Yes.
may drop to be a little bit cooler than that.
Who are your sources?
I'm wondering who your sources are, because my sources say it's going to be a little chilly, probably highs in the upper 60s. I don't know if it's even going to break into the 70s. So I don't know. Either
It's
way,
San
I
Diego.
would. Either
As long
way,
as it's not raining, it's
bring
gonna be
your
good.
jacket.
It's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, you said it was going to be rain, right? Didn't you say there was going to be rain?
It may sprinkle here and there.
May. So bring a hoodie. You know we don't. Mr. Chenzo,
Trying to get my computer to work. It's not working.
that's not how you make things work. Banging it. Jeez. All right. Well, there are a few places that you can go this weekend if
Absolutely.
you'd like to go out in and around town. So, pretty fascinating.
I'm
I
excited to
was looking up things to do, and I found this Color Run Dream Tour.
Okay.
I actually did a color run at my college a few years ago,
Okay.
where it was more like a field day, and you had bags of powder, but it was colored powder, and everybody wears white, and you basically toss this baby powder of different colors, and you know, it's all these different colors,
Okay.
and you can do it as a fun run. Sometimes they do it with. Oh geez,
Looking up things to do, and
Looking
you're doing a color run.
And we're doing.
And there's
fun-
lots of colors all over the place.
All right. Anyway, so they have a Color Run Dream Tour that's going to be going on Saturday. It's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can gather there. They're going to have a fun run. They say it creates a world where anything is possible. Unicorns are real, and foam clouds make everything better. So they'll be helping participants achieve their fitness goals by providing a fun, unintimidating running environment.
Okay.
There'll be music across the whole course,
Okay.
radiant new colors,
Radiant.
and the Dream Wall, which is a new addition to the course where runners spray paint their dreams on the wall to be seen by all. So after
Okay.
they cross the finish line, the runners can enjoy a festival and a party with the Runicorn,
Not a unicorn.
Runicorn, not unicorn, Runicorn dance and join in massive color throwings. So it'll be fun. It's a little pricey.
How
It's-
pricey?
If you have a team of 4, well, here's the thing. One person's admission is $50.
Okay.
If you have a team of 4, it's $45.
Well, that's not bad.
No. So it's a way to encourage you to get your friends. So you get your friends to come along and you save $5. So you can get your team, you know, and go have some fun, throw some colors at each other, and pretend like unicorns are real in a foam bath of Qualcomm Stadium. Fun.
Qualcomm Stadium?
That's going to be, like I said, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Then Vegan in San Diego. Do you guys remember us talking about Vegan in San Diego?
The Animal Farm Refuge.
Yes. So they're going to, Vegan in San Diego is its own entity.
Okay.
And they're going to be having a taco cook-off at the fair at 44
No
on El
ticket, no taco.
No ticket, no taco.
Yes.
So the taco cook-off, they're going to have 6 different vendors there. And for $20, you can be a judge. You get entry and you get to taste each one of the 6 tacos. And then they'll do a tally at the end and see which one wins.
Gotcha.
If you just want to be in general admission, you can pay $5 and go and taste as many tacos as you'd like without a ballot. So that'll be fun. And the judges, one of the 3 judges is actually going to be Jordan Russo from Farm Animal Refuge that we had on a few weeks ago.
That's right.
So shout out to her. That is also where we adopted Thor. Well, we didn't adopt, we sponsor him. So what she does is she and Matt, they run Farm Animal Refuge out in Campo, California, and they refuge farm animals that could be going to slaughter or have disabilities or certain issues where they're not treated properly. So they give them the proper life and love them and do so much for these animals and live a vegan lifestyle. So she's going to be one of the judges. Go check it out if you have the time. She told me it was sold out, but I don't know. I would just loiter and see if you can slide your way in. Just follow your nose and just taste the tacos.
Tiki taco.
Again, that's going to be Saturday. It's going to be from 4 to 8:30, and it's going to be at Fair at 44, which is on El Cajon Boulevard in City Heights. So make sure you go check that out if you'd like to support local, as we do. Because if you don't know, Go Ham Radio is here to give opportunity, hope, and mentorship to everyone in the radio industry and in the music industry. And we'd like to help you put yourself on, really, because that's what we are. We offer a platform to help you display your talents and be able to start doing what you really want to do. If you're caught between talent and industry and are just looking for a place to display your talents, we're here for you. So if you're interested in being part of our team, part of the Ham Fam, or if you'd like to just submit some music that we have on our radio shows, or if you'd like to do an interview, make sure to email us at requests@gohamradio.com. You can find us there, and we'll be able to respond to you and let you know where we can fit you in. So definitely hit us up there. And I think we're going to take a quick break.
Yes.
And when we come back, we're going to have, what are we going to have? We're going to have a joke.
Yes.
We're going to have a riddle.
Riddle me this.
Riddle me that. And a few other things. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be right back. This is Street Talk with the Swift Gang. I'm Miss Fancy Pants.
And I'm Vincenzo, and you're listening to us live on GoHamRadio.com.
You're listening to Street Talk with the Swift Gang.
Well, welcome back. This is Street Talk with the Swift Gang. I'm Miss Fancy Pants.
And I'm Vincenzo. Every Friday night from 10 p.m. to midnight, we're going to give you all exclusive content, live music. Unfortunately, this month, we won't have any live music because our in-house DJ Roscoe, is out on vacation in the beautiful land of Jamaica, which, if it's okay with you, I'd like to take a little time right now to give a special shout-out to DJ Roscoe, who is in Jamaica right now. His mother, Mumsy Phyllis, passed away this week, and we want to give a special shout out to her, the Stewart family, and of course DJ Roscoe and Miss Phyllis and Mumsy, who gave a lot to her family and gave a lot to this world, and she will be dearly, dearly missed. We want to let you know that on behalf of our family and the Goham family and all of our listeners, DJ Roscoe, we are with you. We love you. And we wish nothing but the best for you, and we can't wait to have you back because we know we have to give you our love in this great time of need. And Miss Fancy Pants.
Yeah, so we do want to give a special shout out to them, and they may be tuning in. I don't know. Can you see? Do you see?
He was tuning in. He was tuning in. Yeah, my computer's having some problems right now, but I'm pulling it up on my phone, and I know DJ Roscoe was tuning in, so I hope.
He goes in and out of service, so I know he's going to try his best to get on. But we do want to give our thoughts and prayers with the Stewart family.
Absolutely.
So do you have some things that we can watch this weekend?
We do. We have a couple things that we can watch. One of the good things that you can catch on Netflix is a new series that is a Netflix original. It's called Big Mouth. And it's really, really funny because it is literally an animated comedy about going through adolescence.
Funny that you mentioned that because I was actually on Netflix perusing and I found Big Mouth, and I've kind of been on a tangent of watching Friends because, you know, they have all the seasons of Friends on there and all the episodes. So I've been binging for a while now, but I wanted a break, and I saw Big Mouth was on there, and I checked it out. I saw the first episode and a half, almost 2 episodes, and it was pretty crude, edgy, very reminiscent of my past.
Yes. Yes.
It was great. So that's funny that you mentioned that. I have checked it out. So if you haven't, check it out. It's called Big Mouth. And yeah, Vinny, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead and.
No, it's okay. And the second one that I have for you, it used to be on Netflix. I don't think it's on there anymore. However, I think it is on Hulu. It is a Tosh.0 type of show. As a matter of fact, Tosh himself plays one of the characters. It is called Brickleberry. And it is absolutely hilarious, funny, and crude all wrapped up in the one. So if you are someone who gets offended easily, I strongly
Maybe not
advise
these
you
shows.
not to watch Brickleberry. However, if you don't get offended very easily and you find humor in a lot of different things, Brickleberry is one for you.
Who's your favorite character on Brickleberry?
Malloy, which is played by Tosh.
Who is Malloy to our viewers?
He is the little bear that is adopted by the park ranger. And actually, his master, the park ranger, is absolutely funny and hilarious. So it is a great show if you choose to tune in.
Do you have any favorite characters from Big Mouth yet?
You know what? I've only watched a couple episodes, and there's a couple that I like, but I'm going to hold off until I give off any of my favorites yet because I like to finish the season.
All right. Okay. Well, I do have a riddle for everyone if
hear
they're
it.
ready.
I want to hear it.
Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
Okay. Now, last week we didn't have any winners.
Okay.
No one submitted a correct answer.
Okay.
That doesn't mean no one submitted an answer. That means no one submitted a correct answer.
Right.
So if you're watching, no one submitted a correct answer.
So you still have a chance to submit it.
If you happen to watch our prior video and the highlight reel you can see on gohamradio.com under Street Talk, our show tab, then you can find all of our archive shows. And if you listen or watch our archive show and can figure out what the answer to that riddle is, you can still email us since we do not have a winner for that one, and I will still honor that.
I like it.
So that will be for last week's. For this week's, same thing applies.
Okay.
If you happen to win, you have 30 days before you can try to win again.
Okay.
You email us at request@gohamradio.com. In the subject line, you'll want to put riddle answer or something of the sort. You know, I have the answer to the riddle. Something riddle answer needs to be in those
Riddle
so that it
me
doesn't.
this, Batman.
So it doesn't go into spam. So this week I have one riddle for you.
Let's hear it.
What has 4 fingers and a thumb, but is not living? What has 4 fingers and a thumb, but is not living?
4 fingers and a thumb, but is not living.
How many things have thumbs? Right? Right, I thought.
Monkeys have thumbs.
Do they? I mean,
I'm pretty sure they do.
I don't know. Well, if you happen to know the answer, give us a shout out via email at request@gohamradio.com. Put riddle answer in the subject line so it doesn't go to spam, and we'll be able to email you back. And make sure that you include your address in that email because we can send you a prize pack if you win that'll include a Go Ham Radio sticker, magnets, and a ham cam nose that you can take selfies in and send to us and we can put on the page.
I like it.
So make sure to do that. And Vinny, do you happen to have something funny for us?
I do. I do. It's a little bit dirty,
Ooh, we like things dirty on a Friday night.
but it should be fun.
All right.
Okay.
Fun and dirty. I like this. Frisky and fun. Ooh.
What's the difference between a hooker and a drug dealer?
$20.
A hooker can wash her crack and resell it.
Oh my goodness.
Dirty.
Dirty.
filthy, terrible.
Hi, Vay. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
good Lord.
Well, Coming up, we do have Crisma Jones. He is in the building. He's going to be giving us a live performance, but before that, we're going to interview him, find out what he's got going on, what he had going on in the past to get him to where he is now, and all the stuff in between. If you're interested and would like to join in that conversation, make sure you chat us on our live chat and ask us some questions. We'll be able to ask him and give you guys shout outs as well. So make sure you check that. And what's up?
What's up? I mean, we got so much going on. We
What's
have
up?
We have a sports report coming
We do.
up.
Don't forget sports is
We
coming
can't forget
up.
our sports. I'm going to have a great sports report for you. And then, of course, our live performance tonight
Yep.
and interview with Crisma Jones, who's going to be performing live and answering some of our questions this evening. He is a local a local El Cajon rap artist who will be performing
El
live for us
Cajon.
tonight.
All right.
Yeah. He hails out of East County. You got to give some East County love out there.
All right, EC Love. This is Street Talk with the Swift Gang. I'm Miss Fancy Pants.
And I'm Vincenzo. You're listening to us live on GoHamRadio.com.
You're listening to Street Talk with the Swift Gang.
Sports. What would we like to know about sports?
Well, why don't you start off by
let's start
telling us
off
what
with
happened?
Yes,
Yeah,
well, the World Series.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
Houston Astros
Hey,
defeated
this
the
is their first time, right?
Los Angeles Dodgers for their first ever
Yes.
World Series. So congratulations to the
Shout out to
Houston
Houston Astros.
for collecting their first World Series win in franchise history.
It
Also,
took it all the way to 7 games, right? It was 3 and 3.
7 games.
I remember, I'm not into sports,
No,
don't
she's
know
not.
anything, but I do know that it was the Houston Astros, the LA Dodgers. They did 3 and 3. It was a great. Everybody kept saying it was a great World Series game, right?
yes.
Everybody said, and you know, I
It was a
never
great
watched
World Series in
I
general.
didn't watch any of the games. I'm going to be honest. I didn't watch any of them. But you know what? I support either team. You know, I'm from Houston. I'm also from LA. So I'm glad that both of them went to the series. And I'm also glad that the Astros won for the first time. It's nice to have an underdog win.
Absolutely.
LA it really brought them out. But you know what I heard everywhere afterwards? Conspiracy theory. Everybody thought that it was a conspiracy theory that the Astros won. And I was like,
Well, the only reason why there's a
"Ah,
bit of a conspiracy is because Sports Illustrated in 2015 predicted that the Houston Astros would win the 2017 World Series. So maybe a lot of folks thought that.
How did they predict that?
Well, you know, because here's the thing, right? Houston had tanked for so many years, and their strategy was that if we tank for so many years, that eventually we'll get enough great draft picks that we will build a team that's worth a championship, or you know, a team that's at championship caliber. And so, over the course of several years, they've made great draft choices, and were able to trade certain draft picks for you know certain guys, but they mainly built their team from the draft, and they were able to win a championship. Something that our local team, the San Diego Padres, is trying to do by building through the draft and making moves by trading good prospects for quality veterans to help the team win a championship. Now, the idea is that the Padres should win a championship between the years of 2019 and or the 2020 season. So we shall see whether or not the Houston Astros blueprint actually works for other teams, such as the Padres.
Well, you just came back from the Gulls game, right?
I did. They lost.
Oh, goodness.
They
What's their record
lost.
now?
It doesn't matter. They lost.
They lost. What do you mean it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter
Did
because
they win
it's
their last...
minor league hockey.
Okay.
And all that matters is that our guys are ready to go for the Ducks.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they're ready?
They are ready. And you know what? That's part of the problem is, you know, I think what we've had some really good players on the goals that got called up to the Ducks, and now they're there. And, you know, we lack a little bit of depth. Now, one of the things going into the season is that we have absolutely no defense. Offense, it's a little spotty. It's not as good as it was last year. The defense is definitely not nearly as good as it has been in years in the past. So it's going to be, you know, slim picking. It's going to be slim for the goals here, maybe for the next year or two. But they have some guys that are really, really competitive, some guys to be really excited to watch, like Samuel Thomas and Stu Bickle. But Stu Bickle is up with the Ducks right now, and as well as Cosia. Cosia is really another exciting player, but he's up with the Ducks right now. But, you know, it's the San Diego Gulls. It's the best ticket in town. They're going to have great fans, and fans are going to follow them no matter what.
What about your do you have your sports? Do you have them ready?
I have a little bit. One thing that I want to cover, usually I like to go over the whole scoreboard with all the different games and different things going on. Today I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I want to highlight that the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA beat the Washington Wizards 130-122, and LeBron drops 57 against the Wizards. So not only did he have a big game, but Cleveland snaps a 4-game losing streak. They've had a really tough start to their season. They've got a lot of criticism, and they were able to pull up a big win against Washington, who is thought to be, kind of a contender in the East going into the season. Also, this week in college football, San Diego State is, of course, playing. You guys want to check that out. My number 3 Notre Dame Fighting Irish are playing host to, they're playing host to the Wake Forest Deacons this weekend. And
Wake Forest Deacons.
yeah, I believe that's what they're called, the Deacons. I don't know. It's the ACC.
Do they ever play the Judists?
The Judases? No. The Judases play in the NFL.
Oh,
The San Diego
wrong
Judases.
league.
Yes. Number 1, Georgia is going to play, is going to be hosting South Carolina. Number 4, Clemson is at number 20, NC State. Number 6, Ohio State is at Iowa. Number 15, Iowa State is at West Virginia. 21, Stanford versus Washington State. Number 5, Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield and the gang is going to be playing. Hold on, here we go. This thing got out of whack. Oklahoma State in a rivalry matchup. Oklahoma State coming in at number 11. Number 8, TCU is playing University of Texas Longhorns. And a game that I'm really excited to watch this weekend, actually one of the 2 games I'm excited to watch, number 13, Virginia Tech versus number 10, Miami, and number 17, USC versus number 22, Arizona State. And to kind of wrap up our sports, I like to recap our final game of the season for the Valhalla Norsemen freshman football team. We lost, and we ended the year 3-7. It's okay. 3 wins, 7 losses. We lost to Helix High School, Charter High School. We got shut out. I believe the score was 33-0. And
Why don't we talk about who did you win against?
Who did we win? It doesn't matter who we won against.
Yes, it does.
No. Because look, the goal for these young men is not to win right now.
Okay.
They need to win when they're juniors and seniors, because that's when they're probably going to be on the varsity team. And that's when your record really matters, and whether you win or not really matters. Now, these young men have played very, very well, and many of them have never played football before. And so we started out with a group of about 50 students, 50 student athletes. And throughout the season, a lot of bodies have fallen through the cracks. And so we have been reduced to maybe about 23, 24 kids, maybe 26 at the most. And these core of 26 guys have been there. They fought through the suck, as we like to call it. They showed a lot of grit. And while their record may not reflect how well they played and how tough they played, what I can assure you is that with an off season or 2, come these guys' junior and senior years, they're going to be really, really good, and they're going to be very, very competitive. And I'm really, really excited to see what they got going for them. So, although it was a losing season for the 3-7 Valhalla Norsemen freshman football team, congratulations on a good season, especially those 26 guys who were able to avoid injury and heartache, from injury. And you guys go into the offseason, work hard, play your other sports, eat a couple steaks, lift some weights, and get ready come next season.
Do you have any star athletes or athletes that did above and beyond during the season?
You know what? It'd be really unfair for me to shout out just anybody in particular, because they all did really, really well, especially some of the guys who were not in my group. I coached the offensive line. I'm very, very proud of my group. I'm actually really, really proud of this whole team. This whole team, I don't think they understand what an impact they had on my life on a personal level. What was really humbling and really cool to have happen to me was after the game last night was many of the students came up to me, student athletes, they came up to me and they told me, Coach, thank you so much for everything that you taught me this season, not just about football, but about life. And to me, that was the most important thing, because I think so often in school, especially at that age, life situations get overlooked. And it's more about, hey, what's your grade in science? Hey, what's your grade in history? Hey, what's your grade in English? And they don't necessarily look at things that sometimes the students are going through, whether it be a personal issue, mental health issue, a parent passing away, maybe parents' divorce, maybe a sibling, whatever, drug abuse, you name it. And these kids at 13, 14, 15 years old, they need someone to hear them out. Because a lot of times in their personal lives, there is no one that can hear them out. And all it takes is that one person to just listen to them, give them a little bit of advice, or just be an ear. And it could totally change their whole perspective on the world, their whole perspective on life, their whole outtake. And these kids transformed me so much to the point that where I have decided that I'm going to try to go back to school, and I actually want to maybe become a teacher and be more involved with the high school level and the middle school level, and help these kids and be not necessarily just a teacher, but maybe someone that they can look up to and someone that they can confide in and seek help in when things aren't going rough. And just like life and just like everything else that we go through, because I told these guys, hey, you know what, the mark of a true champion isn't quitting. It's easy after a 3-7 season to say, hey, you know what, fuck it, I quit. Screw it, I quit. Because it's easy to quit. It's easy to say, you know what, I'm just not going to go through it. It's easy to do that. That's the easy way out. But a true champion and a true warrior, they choose to persevere. They choose to fight through the suck. They choose to say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to keep battling. I'm going to get through it until I achieve my goal. And I will not stop until I get there. And that's the message that I want to send all 26 of our young men. And even those who decided to quit ahead of time, you still have a decision to make right now. Right now. You do. You have a decision to make. You can either say, screw it, I quit, or you can man up and fight through it. And there's plenty of personal anecdotes that I can give on my own personal behalf that I share with those guys, and they know. I don't have to go into it. But that concludes our sports wrap-up. So thank you, Valhalla Norseman Freshman Football, for giving me the opportunity and the privilege of coaching you guys. I cannot wait to coach next season and see what next season has in store.
Perfect. Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
I felt like I was, kind of a part of the team, part of the support team, the support system. What do they call them? The booster club, right? Isn't that what they're called? The booster club.
Support. As long as you're not trying to, be a sketchy booster club member.
I'm not sketch. I'm cool. I'll make very cool brownies and give it to all the kids.
Oh my God. They will be nice and relaxed before every game.
They'll be ready to go.
Oh Lord. No anxiety on the field, right?
All right. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we've got Crisma Jones in the building. So this is Street Talk with the Swift Gang.
Live on GoHamRadio.com.
You are now tuned into the movement with Swift Gang here on Street Talk.
Swift Gang, I'm Miss Fancy Pants, and we are here with Crisma Jones.
What's going on?
Welcome to the studio, sir. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Glad you were able to take time out of your busy schedule to come and, check us out, see what we got going here, and give our viewers and listeners a little taste of what Crisma Jones and Crisma Jones music is all about.
Yo.
So are you
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So are you from San Diego?
No, I'm not from San Diego. I mean, I'm native because I've been here for over 10 years, but originally I grew up, I was born in Missouri. I grew up in Long Beach, and I live in San Diego now. So, I mean, I'm kind of, everywhere, a little bit everywhere. So can't really pinpoint exactly where I'm from. But if someone were to ask me, I'll just say I'm from Long Beach, East Side. So that's pretty much where I hail.
Where you hail? And you said you're from where?
East Side, Long Beach.
And you were born where?
I was born in Missouri.
Missouri, nice. Me too. What part of Missouri?
St. Charles.
Nice. I was born in St. Louis. It's right around the same area.
Right? Yeah.
Very
It's
cool.
30 minutes away from there.
Yeah, right around the same.
Uh-huh.
Almost like twins.
Shout out to St. Chuck.
St. Chuck,
Yeah.
right? St. Charles.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what you consider home then is Long Beach, right?
Yeah, I consider Long Beach home because I was born in Missouri, but I moved to Long Beach when I was like hitting that age where I was like, becoming a man and like a young man, and I graduated from there. I fell in love there. I got in trouble there. Like everything happened there from the gate. So that's really why I say that, like I'm from there because all my experiences, my trials and tribulations, all the deepest, darkest secrets, everything is there. So like, Long Beach is like my first love, so.
So what brought you then, because it's San Diego, what brought you from Long Beach down
It
here to
was
San Diego?
change. It was just change. It was time to change. I didn't have a lot going on there. It was really a bad area and a bad time to be there. It was a struggle. I was living in the hood basically, but I made it out. A family member called me and asked me if I wanted to come out to San Diego and just start fresh, and I took the opportunity, and that's basically what happened.
So fresh. So how long have you been doing music then?
Let's see. It's probably been like 15 years. I mean, I really started doing music when I was about 17, 16. So a little bit over 15 years it's been, that I've been. But like I didn't really actually get into the studio till several years later. But like, just doing music as a kid. I was in a marching band when I was young too. Like when I was like 14, 15, I was doing the marching band.
What instrument did you play?
I played the trumpet.
Nice.
So
can you still play the trumpet?
No, that's hard. You got to train your lips to do that. But, I've always been into music. So, I mean, it's really hard to, like, probably half my life at least,
Nice. So do you produce your music, or what part of your music do you do? I know you write, correct? You rap, you write.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. You guys kept saying that I was a rapper. And right now, it's like I don't really, like, just see myself as a rapper because then you're just labeling yourself as just one entity. I'm an artist. So when someone says, or they come up and ask me, oh, what do? You sing, you rap? And I just say, I'm an artist. I create music. Because, yeah, sometimes I rap, but sometimes I sing. And sometimes it's a mixture of both. So I can't really just say I'm a rapper. If you heard some of my stuff, it's not all just rapping. I'm an artist. So that's really what it is.
Where do you get some of your inspiration from?
Just life experiences, things that I'm going through in the moment, like right then and there. Like I might, write about something that happened, and then I'll listen to the song and I'll remember, like, oh yeah, I remember I was going through that time where I was struggling or whatever, and it's just sometimes it just pops and it just comes to you. It's it just depends. But I do try to produce all my own stuff and try to own all of it. It's hard nowadays to go independent without a big successful team surrounding you and backing you up, because you have to do everything. You have to purchase everything, and it's expensive, So, but it's definitely a blessing to be able to make music, and I make music with a lot of people, and it's a blessing.
Where do you make music at?
So we have a place called the Beat Shop here in San Diego. It's actually located in El Cajon, and there's tons of artists that are there, that just come all the time. Shout out to AJ. He's the engineer there. But there's just tons of artists. Black Sancho, Paper Pat, California Polo Bands, Liquid. There's tons of artists that I work with, and I've been working with these people for years and years. And I follow the hip-hop community heavily. So I'm pretty active over there, and I've been recording there for over 6 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, do you have any albums or features or mixtapes?
Yeah, I do have. Are all mixtapes that I do have. There's quite a few. There were some other mixtapes that I did make with some other people, like a long time ago. So I do have Addicted mixtape that I made with Iceburn. And then we did 2 other mixtapes. I think it was Never Gonna Stop and one other one. We did like 3. I don't remember what it was, but then I went on and I started doing my own thing, and I made the Square. Yeah, he's right. I made the Square, and then it was Too Much to Handle, and then in a relationship with music. These are all mixtapes. So what's that? 6. That's 6. And then I just made this last one called 7X. So that's 7.
And that's what this song was that we just heard.
Yeah, that you guys just heard. That came from my most recent mixtape.
And that's called Get Real?
No, that's 7X.
No. The name of the song.
Oh, the song is called Real Talk.
Oh, Real Talk. Real Talk.
Yeah,
That's
featuring Jay Wesson, and he's one of the artists that works with me at the Beat Shop too. Shout out
Okay.
to him. He's a really talented person as well. But yeah, that's my most recent stuff. But now I'm kind of just like trying to put out singles really, and not do so many mixtapes because it's a lot of work. You know, I got to come up with all this stuff. You know, as an independent artist. You know, so right now you try to make a hit single and you push it out there, and hopefully everybody will bite and it'll blow up. You know, that's really what I'm kind of trying to be on right now.
Where do you advertise your stuff? What are your platforms?
So, like, I don't really have a lot of platforms, which I do need more, and I will. It's just I'm on Reverb Nation, Facebook, YouTube, you know, but I need other entities. But those 3 entities is what I'm mainly on. But you can Google me and look, you know, you can just go to Google. Type
what do they
Crisma.
Google?
They just type Crisma Jones,
So,
Crisma Jones, and then I'll just come up. Like, it's automatic. So.
Oh, so you said Crisma is spelled CRISMA. Crisma.
Crisma Jones.
So not
Not yeah, and that's a big confusion with me and my name, because there's actually 4 other Charismas, and so I'm the 5th, right? And we all spell our name differently. There's a DJ Charisma who's a female, and then there's another DJ Charisma who's a female, and then there's 2 other DJ Charismas that are guys. So it's really kind of weird, but I've been Charisma for a long time.
How
so.
did you figure out the spelling for that one?
It's funny because I used to tag a lot when I was in Long Beach as a kid. And so I was just like, you know, trying to figure out what would fit me. And I hung out with this one person who used to tag a lot too. And I was like, yo, what do you think about Charisma? And he was like, yeah, that's dope. Let me, you know, do something. So I did a little piece. And he was like, all right, yeah, that's cool. That's going to be you now. So, like, all right. So now I just start drawing it everywhere, but I was spelling it differently. I was spelling CHARISMA. I was trying to spell it differently just because I wanted to. I was rebelling at that age, and my dad was catching me with all this Christmas stuff everywhere, and he was like, if you don't stop writing Christmas everywhere, I'm gonna, you know. And I was like, it's not Christmas, Dad, it's Charisma. So, like, I just went through these, you know, my name changed as I progressed in the music. So really, I was like, you know, I need to really single myself out, but still be Charisma. So that's what I did. I just was like, all right, fine, I'm just going to spell it CRISMA, Charisma. Mm-hmm. That's, you know, and so everybody got it and caught on, you know, and then everybody was calling me Charisma. Everybody still calls me Charisma to this day. Most people didn't know me, so.
All right. Well, Charisma, it's nice having you in the studio here on Street Talk with the Swift Gang. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to check out another one of your videos that you have from 7X. And then when we get back, we've got some more questions and then a live performance.
All righty.
So
Thank
stay
you very
tuned.
much.
We'll be right back. I'm Miss Fancy Pants.
You're listening to Street Talk with the Swift Gang.
Need something fresh and new? GoHamRadio.com. Log on, listen, and go ham.
Hey everybody, welcome back. You're listening to Street Talk with the Swift Gang. My name is Vinny Cenzo, my co-host Miss Fancy Pants, and of course Farg, who's running the controls in the background. And big shout out to DJ Roscoe, who's on vacation right now in Jamaica. So you guys were tuning in. Shout out to DJ Roscoe. If you guys were listening a little bit earlier, my co-host Miss Fancy Pants was interviewing our in-house guest this evening, Crisma Jones, who we have been calling a rapper, but is not just a rapper. He is an artiste.
Correct.
An artist. He is an artist. So, with that being said, Mr. Crisma Jones, being an artist, what has been the most difficult thing that you've had to endure? Or biggest obstacle?
Oh man, that's a hard question. There's a lot of things.
Yes, we asked-
surviving jail.
Surviving jail.
Yeah, like
The pan.
8 times. I mean, just living to be where, to the age I am right now,
And how old are you?
32.
32. So you've been to the pen 8 times, or you've been
No.
in jail 8 times.
Not to
Damn,
the
if you've been to the
pen,
pen 8
jail.
times, that'd be bad news.
But I mean, I just, being able to make it to 32 is a blessing, I can't really, there's so many struggles in life, so I can't.
Obviously going to jail has been real. I mean, I can imagine that in itself provides its own kind of challenges. So with that being said, as an artist, with all of your experiences that you've gone through, life and otherwise, what have you learned?
I learned that, you can't judge people really right off the bat, because you never can tell what somebody's going through or,
Right.
what experience they may have. You gotta open up your mind and sometimes relax and just take things in and not necessarily talk, because it will benefit you, because you get a chance to hear what others are saying.
Of course.
And then you get a chance to know who they are without even speaking to them. So, I think never underestimate who you're dealing with. Enemy, opponent, ally, whoever it is. That would be.
So given all these people, right, given this whole situation, who would you say your music is for? Because you feel like, don't underestimate anybody that you come across, friend, enemy, or foe, So when you generate your own music and you create music, who are you trying to reach out to? Are you trying to reach out to all different kinds of people, or are you trying to reach out to just a certain kind of audience?
Anybody that will listen. Anybody that will listen. My music is different. So, I never had somebody say, "Oh, you sound like so and so." So for me, I think it's more of the people that really want to hear good music or want to hear stuff that they might be going through. Something that they can relate to. Like, I have friends that listen to my music, and I'll say something in my song, and they latch onto it because they remember the time that I was speaking about when I rapped it or sang it in my song.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of catches them. They are my friends, but I'm trying to do that, to people that aren't my friends, might have just heard me for the first time, and they heard something that I said, and they can relate to it, right off top. That's what it would be about.
So you're trying to obviously sounds like you have a pretty good grassroots following as far as people who are your friends and people that can relate to your music, and you're trying to reach out to others who maybe haven't heard your music. Do you have any intentions, or have you performed at any kind of local venues, or do you have plans on performing anywhere locally?
Funny. Really, I've only done one. I've only done one place.
And where's that
It
at?
wasn't. I don't even remember where it was, man.
Oh.
I was drinking at the time.
He was faded.
I wasn't faded. I don't remember where it was, and it wasn't actually my set. Mm-hmm. It was somebody else's set. It was Black Sancho's set. Shout out to him. But he put me on it and let me go up there, and I sang a hook to one of his songs when my rally got shot. And so I was able to do that, but I haven't done any other ones than that. But I really would like to do more, and I really had a discussion with another local artist named Miss Chief today about this situation, trying to get more people that want to perform, but there's a cost to perform. So, it's not as easy as just saying, "Oh, hey, let's go on stage." There's a way to do things.
Right.
So, I'm trying to move in that direction.
So within a year, where would you like to be professionally? Do you have any projects that you're working on? Do you have where do you see yourself in about a year?
Right now, like I was telling Miss Fancy Pants, I'm trying to work on singles, more. So I'm really trying to create some music that will hit and people will like it and eventually make money off of my music, because I've been giving it away for so darn long. So I'm hoping to get some money, come back on it, and keep making good music, and people will support me, and I'll have fans. I'm not trying to just do it here. I'm trying to do it overseas too as well, and get people in Slovakia and Russia and
Everyone listen, all around the world.
Everyone
International
listen.
man of
The
mystery.
more the better. So
Right.
in a year, hopefully I will be more successful than I am right now, and more prosperous, and things will be okay. That's what I hope for. That's what I hope to be.
All right. Well,
Not
guys,
saying that I'm all bad right now, but to be better.
well,
is always good.
It's always good. You
Yeah.
got goals set for yourself, and you're trying to achieve higher aspirations. You're trying to get somewhere. Thank you, everybody. You're listening to Street Talk with the Swift Gang. We got Crisma Jones here live in studio, and we're going to cut to a quick break. But before we cut to that quick break, I want to let you guys know that you can chat with us live on our Facebook page on Go Ham Radio. You can also listen to us and stream us live from GoHamRadio.com. Chat with us. Let us know what you guys are thinking. If you have any questions or comments for our local guest. Also, we're going to have our word on the street topic, which is going to be voting, your rights. What are you voting for? What's going on with voting? Anything that you have about voting is going to be coming up. And before we get to all that, we have our guest, Crisma Jones, who is going to be performing live right after this break. So make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm Vinny Cenzo on behalf of Miss Fancy Pants and Fog, our engineer. You're listening to Street Talk with the Swift Gang on GoHamRadio.com.
You are now tuned into the movement with Swift Gang here on Street Talk.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Crisma Jones, for blessing the mic.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
I was
I like
Give
that.
thanks, give thanks,
I was
give
rusty,
thanks.
but I was making it.
Hey, that's what we're here for, to get everybody a little bit of platform so they can get back on and get where they need to be,
Thank you.
We're here for the people.
melody.
We're here. This is Street Talk with the Swift Gang. I'm Miss Fancy Pants.
And I'm Vinny Cenzo.
And tonight...
Go ahead.
All right, and
Yes,
tonight on
tonight.
Street Talk's topic, we're going to be discussing voting. Can you vote? Do you vote?
I don't.
Are you able? Are you legally able to vote?
I'm legally able to vote. However, my vote doesn't count.
Oh, you think?
I know.
In which election do you vote?
All. None. I voted in no elections.
Have you ever voted in any election?
Yes, I have.
In which ones?
I voted in the 2008 presidential election.
So you've only voted in the presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
And you are giving a broad statement that your vote doesn't count amongst all elections. And I'm talking
Yes.
about city council and all of those.
Maybe not at the local level, however, on the federal level, yes.
So I'm talking about the local level. Because
Local level, I'll vote on local level stuff. Federal level,
But you
I
don't
won't.
vote on local level stuff.
Well, no. You have the option when you get your ballot to vote for what you have. The ballot has everything listed in what you can vote for, right? Mm-hmm. So, I don't vote for the president. I don't vote for other things like that. However, I do vote for any local issues that are going on because I do believe that on a local level, we have, as citizens, more control than what happens on a federal level.
All right. Now, Mr. Crisma Jones.
Yeah.
Are you able to vote?
No, I'm not able legally.
And why is that?
Well, because when you break the law so many times, you're not able to vote.
Will you ever be
I mean, that's
able
just
to
a true
vote?
statement.
Are you just not able to vote now?
No, I can't vote now. I mean, I used to be able to vote, but even when I had the option, I never did.
So you have
And why-
never voted.
and why
You're a
did-
virgin
and-
voter.
Actually,
when
I
you
think I
wanted
might
to
have
vote-
voted one time in my whole life. I take that back. I probably voted one time in my whole life, and it was probably when I was like 18.
Okay, so
19 years
so
old.
you haven't voted. What's your reason for not voting?
I mean, just because I can't. And
No. That's not what I mean. Like, obviously, you haven't been able to because you've had your rights to a certain level taken away. However, when you had the opportunity to vote, outside the one time that you did, why haven't you chosen to vote?
well,
Because it sounds like even if you had the opportunity to vote, you wouldn't vote.
no, I wouldn't.
And why is that?
Just because I mean, I don't think it matters. I mean, you can take as many votes as you want. I don't really think it's going to make a difference.
Do you feel like the democratic system is more of a facade for its citizens as opposed to an actual method of trying to get things accomplished and done?
Are you fishing for answers right now?
I'm not fishing
No,
for anything. I'm interviewing.
I'm not really into politics, so I don't really.
Thank you for.
I mean, I don't really
recognizing my interviewing
You're not into
ability.
politics?
Not really. I mean,
Have you ever been? Has anyone in your family ever been in politics, or has it even been like an issue in your household at all? A topic?
Yeah. I mean, like right now, it is. My grandparents are really heavily political. People. They followed it since Reagan, and even before that, like Kennedy. So.
Reagan was making movies.
I mean, they have more opinions on it and probably more factual opinions about things than I would, but I don't get involved too much. But I do know that they don't think that Trump should be our president, but they respect that he's there because he is the president and went through the process, and they just have to go with the flow, so to speak. Some people believe that way. I don't, I mean, it is what it is.
I think there's something to someone who can appreciate and kind of, I respect a lot of people like that, right or wrong, regardless of difference of opinion. Someone who can, respect the sanctity of which something is created, because I think ideally as human beings, when we create something, we want everyone to respect what it is that we created, respect the sanctity and the idea in which it's created. I think it's when we begin to bastardize the process that it begins to manipulate the integrity in which certain things are done. Democracy in itself, personally, I believe, is a wonderful thing. However, when certain businesses, people, politicians, whichever, begin to bastardize the process by putting their personal influence, whether it be through money or whatever, now it is no longer a process it is enforced by the people for the people. It is instead a process which is being manipulated by the rich for the rich and their special interest. And I think what we have here in my respect is, I believe the democratic system is a facade. It is a smoke and mirror system for the masses to feel like they do feel that their vote matters and that they do feel nitty-gritty. Their money talks and bullshit walks. And those who have the dollars and cents are the shakers and makers, and those who don't. Now, on a more local level, you want to vote for helping the homeless or sweeping the streets for Hepe or whatever. You want to build a new stadium in Mission Valley. That's a different story. I think from a local level, your vote does matter. However, there are bigger things above us on a federal level that we have absolutely no control over, and they don't even care about what our opinion is. What matters is do they make money? If they do, they're for it, and they will find a way to manipulate the system to make it happen.
I mean, sometimes
Passionately
That's
said.
my
sometimes it works that way.
Passionately said.
Sometimes it works.
I
that
believe
way.
more often than not it works that way. I think on the rare occasion when the populace actually unifies together, because that's the thing. When we as a people unify together, we become more powerful than anything else in this world. However, until we all unify as one for whatever it is that we're going for, things don't get shaken and moved. Because here's the thing, right? If it affects their bottom line, they'll change. The bottom line determines everything. For example, right? If McDonald's made their hamburgers out of lead, they don't, but let's just say they did, right? Okay? And everyone ate lead hamburgers for their entire lives. McDonald's would not change their recipe to making lead hamburgers unless there was such a public outcry for it. Because if they could
It's
make
just a
more
simple
money,
supply and
if they
demand.
could make more money off selling lead hamburgers, they would. They wouldn't change their recipe until there was enough public demand to change it, because it would affect their bottom line.
Well.
Until they started feeling that people stopped buying their hamburgers, they would they would not change their recipe.
Well, see,
and
here's-
there's a certain level of truth to that, because They did suffer through that. They have tried to become healthier because they developed a stigma of being a very unhealthy chain.
Well, in referring to voting with that, it's the people are sometimes unable to overthrow the government, even as the 99%, just because of the resources or lack of resources that the
Yes.
99% have
You're right.
versus the 1%. Anytime that we have had someone decent rise up from the grassroots to be a leader, to be able to influence in a positive sense, there have been assassinations, there have been murders, there have been disappearances, there have been situations that have prevented them from going all the way till the end. So with that, I think
Well, the
voting...
last president to be assassinated was John F. Kennedy. Okay. All right. So outside of him, who else has been assassinated?
I feel that our technology
There
has
was another guy.
improved.
There was
Abraham
another
Lincoln
guy that was
assassinated.
assassinated.
Well, we're talking about that's over 200 years ago.
That doesn't mean that point is invalid. He was still assassinated.
Okay.
Martin Luther King was assassinated. I would say that
Abraham
Malcolm
Lincoln.
X was assassinated.
Okay.
I think that Amelia Earhart was she went missing, but I don't think she went missing. I think that there's many conspiracy
Captured by the
theories.
Japanese and killed in an
Her plane
internment
was
camp.
found.
Yes.
Her plane was so. Besides that, I think that votes do count. I think we all should be. If we do have the ability to vote, I think we should register.
Yes.
I think we should all register at least at the local level.
Yes.
Because this.
I agree.
And I think the domino effect from that will be a better federal system.
Yes.
Because what happens is it is the elected local government that dictates what happens on the federal level, because the federal level looks to the local level as guidance.
I agree.
Instead of going to the 99%, they'd rather go to the high or the elected delegates and give a representation for their group, their say, and that's really where the electoral vote
So where
comes
is it
from.
that you can go and vote at?
You can vote at any city hall. When you're registered to vote, they send you ballots in the mail, just like they do a presidential election. They send them to you. They let you know what's going on. You see
sign up for
signs
absentee
all
ballot.
in people's yards, especially when it's school districts and
Right.
stuff like that.
I just feel like they don't promote it enough for people to want to do it. You know, they like
Well, here's-
I
they
think
send,
if you look at-
they
here's-
send
but you
some
see, but
crazy
that's-
guy
but that's also
with like
part
a
of-
thing like, hey man, you want to, you know, and it's
But
kinda
I
weird
think that's also
sometimes,
part of the
like-
problem. But I think that's also the problem, as you see,
It's a social stigma
It's
on
a
it.
social stigma because it's kind of like okay, who
it's
remembers?
like uncool to vote.
Well, no.
But-
I don't think it's so much that. I think what happens is it's kind of like the problem what you have at a local level is, and what I would like to use as an example is in the East County. There's Republican Congressman Representative Duncan Hunter. Okay, now for those who know, his father Duncan Hunter
Senior,
was the representative before his son Duncan Hunter.
junior.
So, when Duncan Hunter Jr. ran for Duncan Hunter Sr.'s spot, he went under the name of just Duncan Hunter. So, there's a kind of, I think there's a certain part of it in his particular case, not only piggybacked off his dad's name, okay, which I think is the smaller point in all this. The greater point that I'm trying to get to is there are certain people who have the financial means to get their name out there more than others. Case in point is this Duncan Hunter situation. I know a local representative. He's not a representative. He ran against Duncan Hunter in the last election. He goes by the name of Jim Ash. Fantastic man, family man, good Christian. Not that it has anything to do with anything as far as religion, but the point that I'm trying to make is that he has a certain level of morals and values that he follows, and he sticks to them. He's a good person, more than anything else. He's a good person.
As far as the public sees.
You know what I'm saying? I have the privilege of knowing him a little bit more on a personal level because his children happen to play in the same sports leagues as my child.
Okay.
And so I've gotten to know the family a little bit closer. Now, having gotten to know this man a little bit more on a personal level and recognizing who he is and what he's done, I truly believe, as a quote-unquote registered Democrat, although he's a registered Republican, I actually found that what he stands for is very much along the same things that I stand for. And I hesitated at no point from a local level to vote for him. Okay? Now, one thing that, unfortunately, Mr. Ash did not have versus his counterpart, Mr. Duncan Hunter, was the financial means or the fundraising for his campaign to actually get his name out there. If he had not been in the same Little League as my son, or the same Pop Warner League as my children, or the same basketball league as my other children, I would have not known who Jim Ash was. And so it's very difficult, I think, for a lot of good candidates who do not necessarily have the financial backing to get their name out there to really be represented. And the unfortunate situation is that the only way a lot of these guys receive financial backing is if they take, quote unquote, I'm not going to call them bribes, but hey, I'm from such and such Indian reservation for such and such casino. Would you be willing to take about $1 million worth of funding from our organization if you pass this in our favor?
Yeah, but they don't do that until he gets to the elected level. When
No, because if he wanted to, I'm sure, even as someone who's running, look, hey, I'm willing to back this. Look, I'm willing to back gay marriage. Because that's why you see so much flip-flopping. Because it's whoever pays out. Look, that's why I commend people like Mr. Ash, because he probably had opportunities where he probably could have been sold out and probably could have bought into something like that. And he probably chose not to and sacrificed his own campaign and his own opportunity to become an elected official for the pure principle of being like, look, I don't want to represent this, I don't want to represent that. Because you are a public figure. And at a certain point, when you begin to represent certain things and certain entities, people are going to look into you. Well, why do you support the NRA? What is it? Was it because the NRA paid you $150,000 a year to speak at this, and that?
Same
or
thing
was
with
it
music.
because you're actually a gun owner and that you truly respect and that you have a history of being a gun owner and this, and that? Or why is it that you support gay marriage? Because you yourself have family members that are actually gay? Or is it because it's the trendy thing to do and because the LGBT organization is paying you off to have a pro-gay dialogue? This is not I think it's very naive of people to not think that these politicians do not go through this. That is why there are things called lobbyists.
Yeah, it's
They
lobbyists.
are lobbyists who are trying to do this. Cigarettes, I mean, is the most notorious thing. Nicotine and tobacco is the most notorious
then
of
maybe
all.
we should start looking into ways where we can. Well, here's the thing too: is if you're a politician on the local level and you're not Mr. Duncan or Mr. Duncan Jr., I think that you have to have an edge. You have to find a way to make it work. You've got to. There's enough ways for you to get your own funds through fundraising and campaigning. You can do GoFundMe accounts. You can do different petitions. And I think that if my politician, I want somebody who's got resources, who's got pull. And I'm not saying they have to be Mr. Duncan, but I'm saying take a look at your city. Be familiar with your city. Get to know your city, your people, your resources, and see who can start putting up funds to support you. Where do you get your taxes done? Where do you get your law done? Where do you go to these different firms? I would hope that my future politician would interact with these places where he feels comfortable enough to be able to say, hey, do you support me? This is what I'm doing. And I don't think it should necessarily be about even how much money. It's about how to use the money that you do have wisely. And so
think
there
there's a
is
certain
room.
element of that.
There's room for
I think there's
growth.
certainly
So
an
I
element of
wouldn't
that.
necessarily say that Mr. Ash didn't get it because he didn't have enough money. I would say maybe there were different flaws in his strategy that
Certainly,
that could
but
definitely
you would have to agree a $1 million budget versus maybe a $50,000 budget is a significant difference in what could be happening.
But here's
I'm not suggesting that that's what the giant gap is, but having known that, knowing the history behind the Hunters versus the Ash, who is truly a very local grassroots man. Now, mind you, I don't know who his campaign manager is. I don't know how about what he wanted. You know, I don't know the intricacies as to how his campaign was run. But I'm using that as an example of someone who is truly, like, for example, right? If I were to run for office, I do not have the financial means. And even if I started a GoFundMe, right? Okay, assuming I were to raise at least $50,000, okay, that would not be enough to go against maybe the local representative in my district who has maybe have a history, and it has been, you know.
Right, but if you
But
were to
here's
get
the
more
thing-
votes than them, wouldn't you win?
Here's
No
the
matter
thing,
how
though,
much
too.
money you had?
Here's the thing, though, too,
But
that you have to know.
But look. That's fine. But
There's also
but
a
there's
stipulation. There's a
people have
cap.
you have to see. People have to see your name.
But
People have to
you
know
have to
your
understand,
name.
too, that there's a cap to each level of electoral, like each election, each different type of election, presidential election, mayoral election, city council. There is a limit, a cap to how much people can donate so that they do make it fair.
Sure.
So it's not to say, I mean, they do make it within boundaries. They don't make it an exorbitant amount to where it's unreasonable. You can go on a local level for $10,000. That's the cap. Is, you know, something very small that you can afford. So even with that, it just depends on what level you're going at. But that's why I say you can start at a smaller level and let it domino
Look,
effect.
I truly believe that the local level is where you make your moves and
Mm-hmm.
where it really matters. If you're going to vote at the local level. That's what I do because I truly believe it does matter. Now, with that being said as well, too, also at a local level, right, people can maneuver in a certain way. And I think, you know, it can become a little bit more of a popularity contest as a more like, okay, well, we all see the signs on the road, right? Maybe it's you vote for Judge Joe. I'm just using this as a name, Judge Joe Brown, because you happen to see his sign all. You know, because when you open up the ballot, it's like, well, I didn't hear about Judge Johanna, but I heard about Judge Joe Brown, so fuck it, I'm just gonna vote for Judge Joe Brown because that's what I saw. Because that's what
That just
happens.
sounds
He's a good
familiar.
judge.
Because that's what happens a lot of times. He is a good judge, Judge Mill Lanes. But so sometimes just having the ability of having your voice out there, or having the ability to finance, you know, having your name out there, I think it goes a long way. And now, once again, from a local level, like you said, I understand. Look, there is a cap, and maybe Mr. Ash hit that cap. Maybe he did not, right?
That's why I say it can
But-
be more so
but-
strategy than
but-
monetary at the local level.
But I think money does have a lot to do with it because let me tell you, the hunters, for example, right? They may have hit their cap because they knew they were going to already hit it. So for them, that was more like, here's an extra 10 grand to help me out because they already had the extra 30 grand to do everything else. Maybe for other candidates who don't have that kind of financial backing, they have to rely on that 10 grand, and maybe that's all they really do have, and it's not enough to overcome the extra 20 or 30 or 40 that maybe another candidate may have at their disposal. Look,
Right, but if you got more votes than them, no matter how much money
yeah,
was
but
involved,
it's
wouldn't-
exposure.
wouldn't you
It's
win, though?
exposure. It's exposure.
Right, but I mean, think about
Because-
somebody that was already popular already. Think about somebody that's got, 50,000 friends, right? And then they decide they want to run for some political position, and they get it, no matter how much money that was involved.
what's
but
interesting,
Voting
what's interesting,
would vote that win, right?
what's interesting to know is that millennials.
But just because the 50,000, but hold on real quick.
Yeah.
But just because they have 50,000 friends, right? Obviously, they have a 50,000 people backing, right? But it doesn't make that one person correct. Because what if that person is Hitler? I'm just using this as an extreme example, okay? What if that person was Hitler, okay?
I don't think you'd have that many followers.
No. But here's my point. Okay. Well, no one thought Donald Trump would have that many followers.
Yeah,
Well,
but comparing those
Okay.
two are like
no,
way
but
off.
okay, hold
I
on.
mean,
But
Hillary
this
also
is-
won.
But what did she win?
The votes.
No. She won the popular vote, but she didn't.
Right.
She didn't win in the
That's
electoral
my
college.
that's my point. Why you should
Yeah.
really influence your locals because we're
Right,
not
because
influencing
we're
the
not
locals. The
influencing-
federals
federals are
influence the
influencing the
locals,
locals.
so
Right.
that what we want
So-
isn't winning.
exactly.
What they want is. So there's a tip: is
there you go.
influence your locals so that you put your locals in, so they're not influenced by the federals.
Because
So
if you
that when we
voted,
vote,
if you voted
it
Jim
actually
Ash in,
counts.
if you voted Jim Ash in, maybe you don't see the votes for the East County districts to go towards Donald Trump. Because as we all know, Duncan Hunter's a very big honk, a Donald Trump honk. He's a very big on that. So I'm just
You are an extremist.
look. I've come to the realization that much like in history, in our personal history, our own country's history, there's a time period which was called the Gilded Age, where everything looked great on the front, but deep down inside, everything was a flippin' mess. And I truly believe
I think we're there now.
we are there right now, where certain things like, okay, you look at the United States, okay, hey, it's the land of opportunity. And I truly believe it still is.
What glitter is not always gold.
I think we provide the best lifestyle and the best type of living for people, no matter where you are on Earth.
Yeah.
Okay. However, we also don't come with our own set of flipping issues either, and there's a lot of things internally that we have to figure out here, and I think that's where not just myself, but I think a lot of people in this country have a sort of the sentiment of like, look, before we go handle issues out abroad, we need to take care of things here at home.
Well,
And that's my thing. Is like, look, I don't care about Syria. I don't care about Iraq. I don't care about Afghanistan. I don't care about Uganda. I don't care about anybody. You know why?
Except Italy.
No. I don't even care about Italy. Look, and that was kind of my point to Tay as well, too. I don't care about the kids in Mexico. I don't care about anything. You know why? Because there's plenty of kids here in the United States that need help. There's plenty of war veterans who are on the streets that need help here. There are plenty of Americans that need help. There are things here that we need to be taken care of. Instead of spending $750 trillion on a new war budget, why don't we spend $750 trillion on fixing the infrastructure of this country? Why don't we spend money on helping our healthcare system? Why don't we spend money on trying to fix our national parks? Why don't we have money on trying to have an opportunity to give everybody an opportunity to maybe go to school without having to break the bank?
You should
That's
tweet,
what our vote
you should
says.
tweet your president.
That is what. No.
You should tweet your president.
Well, you know,
But-
they say
but
that
that's-
millennials and Gen X are, for the first time ever, they outnumbered in votes baby boomers.
Yes.
This was in 2016, which is interesting, the very first time, and it is said that millennials are soon to outnumber Generation X just because
It's going to be
the
easier
number,
to vote. Probably be easier to vote, you know.
Well, they're saying that more immigrants are coming in. They're having waves of the younger generation. And once they're in the millennials, they're voting. And they're voting for their own rights. And that's what we need to be conscious of, is that there's more people like us in our own peers that are becoming more woke to what's going on. And I think that's good because we only live a certain amount of time. You know, our lifespan is maybe 100 years, giving a very good guess to a
Modern
lifespan.
medicine's gonna make
Nope.
me live forever.
I'm living to 125.
Modern medicine's gonna make me live forever.
130.
I'm gonna be like Yoda. I'm gonna be like 900 years old. I'm gonna be good.
Depending on
Yep.
how old we
Yep.
get, you know, if we have
Drinking,
a bad
smoking.
if we have a bad leader or a
Yeah.
bad regime or a bad
Yep.
bad-
Outside of a nuclear holocaust, I'm living to 900.
everyone's going to pass. So,
Oh, I'll pass at 900 years old.
oh gee. Any of the troubles that we may have will soon pass. We
Turn
just
me
have to
into
make sure
fertilizer.
that the new generations are doing something better than the prior. So that's our show
Yes.
really tonight. We've talked about voting. It's been kind of a up and down conversation. I guess the bottom line is, if you have the opportunity to vote, make sure you register so that you can vote on a local level. Seek out your libraries and your
Yes.
post offices. That's where you can register to vote, even your DMV.
And I think more than anything else, take the time to actually research your local candidates
In your community and see
and
what's
your community
going on.
and see what's going on.
See what
And-
you can
and-
do.
and be knowledgeable about what's going on around you, because certain situations aren't the same. Like, my opinion is based off of what's going on here locally. What happens here in San Diego might not be the same thing that goes on in bumfuck Alabama or Boise State, Idaho, or wherever. So you guys, pay attention to what's going on around you, because it's different for everybody. There is no cookie cutter shape that you just stamp and it works and it is what it is. Everything is unique. Everybody's situation is different. So take the time, do your research. Please be on top of everything.
Definitely. And Crisma Jones, thank you for coming by. I have a quick
Thank you for
question
having me.
for you.
Sure.
You said you're unable to vote, but if by time you are able to vote again, would you register to vote?
I don't know. It's a possibility. Maybe it just depends on I mean, this election, I really didn't want to vote for either.
Yeah, but that's a presidential election. Like we were
So-
saying, you can vote for locals, and there are
Yeah.
plenty of times on the ballots you vote for local, and you don't have to vote for presidential. And there are many times that people don't vote for anything but the presidential,
Right.
and you can do either.
I mean,
or.
I think if somebody were to bring it to my attention and was like, "Yo, hey, you should probably vote for this because it's like I'm going to be important," then I would definitely probably, all right, But I mean, I'm not out seeking to vote for these certain people, because they're going to find somebody who can do the job with or without me. So.
Well, we hope that you do get your voting rights back, and when you do, you are able to vote and help to make this world, or this country at least, a better country here. And Fark, are you registered to vote? You are registered? Do you vote on the local level? You do? Do you vote every year? No. Do they get you?
I've moved around too much
Yeah.
for a while, yeah.
So, what do you feel about? Here, take this for a second. I just have a few questions for you. So you vote. Oh, so you vote on. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
You vote on the local level. Who did you vote for most recently at a local level? Do you know? Have you voted for the mayor here?
Not in San
Here,
Diego.
have you voted in San Diego yet?
Not since I moved back, no.
Okay, so we do have voting day coming up in the next couple of days. Are you going to vote in the next couple of days?
I'm not registered.
Not
no.
registered yet.
No.
Well, hopefully we can make
See how
it.
it's like drilling? It's like, are you registered? Like, where are you? What are you going
I'm
to do?
just trying to
Who,
get
what,
people
where,
to
when, and why?
participate in our
Like, I feel
future.
like if they change that structure of getting people to vote, then more people will vote. Like, you got to change that somehow. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's
Give
weird.
like a free taquitos coupon at 7-Eleven when you vote.
Something.
They
I
do.
don't
You
know.
can get a free Starbucks when you show your I voted sticker.
Oh my god.
Hey, I've done it.
It's like, hey, man, you know what? If you register to vote right now, we're going to open up a checking account with $50 in it. I'll be like,
That's called
sign
bribery.
me
You can't
up.
bribe people to vote. That's not how we
Yeah.
do this. Well, this is
Happy
Street
ending
Talk
massage.
with the Swift Gang. I'm Miss Fancy Pants. We've got Vinny Chenzo over here munching away. I don't think he had dinner tonight. He's eating Crisma Jones's food. I don't even know if that's
I'm trying to get
If
It's
that's
called
okay.
Rapper's Delight.
the rapper's delight. All right, Crisma Jones. If you'd like to give any shout-outs before we go.
Yeah, shout out to the Beat Shop, All Immortal Men, No Fingerprints Records. Shout out to my cousin in Oregon, John. Shout out to my dad in Long Beach, T-Gun. Who else did I miss? I guess
George.
that's it. George Jones, yeah.
J. Lou.
J. Lou, yeah.
J. Lou.
J. Lou in Missouri. Dang, who else? My sister who's locked up. My brother who's locked up, George. He'll be getting out soon. My sister Autumn. Shout out to my other sister. She's pregnant. She's gonna have a baby.
Hey.
And yeah.
Hey, shout out because you're about to have a baby soon, too, right?
Yeah, sooner the better.
Sooner the better. All right. And again, we'd like to give a special shout out to DJ Roscoe, who is out of town visiting his family. Our condolences to him and his loved ones during this time of grieving and mourning. But hopefully there's joy and light in your heart, and there'll be good memories that you'll be making with your family right now that you'll be able to
Stay
take.
blessed, blood.
Yeah, and we'll catch you when you come back in December. And I'm Miss Fancy Pants, and catch us next week. Same time, same place. This is Street Talk with the Swift Gang on GoHamRadio.com. We'll see you next week.
Streaming live every Friday night, it's Street Talk with the Swift Gang, right here on GoHamRadio.com.
Giving opportunity, hope, and mentorship. GoHamRadio.com.